Connecting with my heart, now I know where to start. Let your feelings flow, discover all you know. Good morning, this is Rhonda Olson from Woman Shine. Let your true colours shine through and express the real you. This week I had a client who is an avid golfer. He loves playing golf. He came to see me because he had sore knee from playing golf, and wanted my help. So he told me that he does all these exercises with a golf stick, putting that stick behind his arms and moving side to side and round, and it still hasn't helped his knee. So I watched him moving himself side to side and round, and noticed that he had a blind spot. When he did the movements to one side, if you look at my shirt, you can see how this kind of like clothing anatomy. The shirt comes closer, like the stripes come closer together on one side and they get further apart on the other. And then when he went to the other side, the stripes came a bit closer together, but then on his other side, they didn't come apart. So I just showed him, I thought, well, how can I help him wake up to himself, wake up to this part that wasn't moving very well. So I just did little movement. I got him to put his hand on his head first and lift his elbow to the ceiling so that his pelvis, these ribs came together on one side and opened up on the other side. Then I got him to put his hands on his heart, on his chest here, and just gently move his hand so that he moved his heart and his sternum and his chest across to the side to support this movement. So, and as he did this, he could feel how he lengthened nicely on one side and shortened on the other side, and how his pelvis lifted up on one side. So when we'd established that pattern, I got him to take a rest and feel how he was sitting and breathing. Then I asked him to put his other hand on his head like this and just do the movement of lifting up his elbow. And when he did this at first, there was not, can you see here, there's nothing much happening here. There was nothing much happening in the pelvis. This side wasn't lifting very well. So I got him to put his hand on his heart. And as he lifted up his elbow, just to take his heart across, move it a little bit this way, just check across this way. And as he did this, suddenly he took a breath. His pelvis started to lift, and the ribs on this side opened out, the ribs on this side came closer together. And he felt how he was sitting and felt like he could breathe a little bit easier. Then I took him into the lesson that I was teaching him, which was lying on the, mostly we do movements lying on the client to lie on the table. And I just did very gentle movements, just touching his chest and showing him how this could move. And suddenly he had little tears in his eyes and said, my brother died last year and my other brother died the year before. And he remembered that the death of both of his parents. So he was holding this grief in his heart. So when he went to play golf, which is something that he really loved, touched somehow or other that the love and the energy to move forward with his heart weren't there. They were kind of blocked by this grief. So I'm yet to hear how he goes with his golf after this. But in my Aging with Ease and Grace class this morning, we're going to be doing these what are called lateral movements. They're not movements that we do very much, but they're very important because we, especially these days, we're sitting at desks and chairs, and we can just kind of slide onto one buttock and get kind of stuck in one position. Or with the mouse, if we're left-handed or right-handed, and we kind of pitch our body one particular way. And also the emotional things that are happening to us at the moment with the COVID crisis that we're in. Our hearts, we're trying to protect our hearts, and so we can hold tight in here and not allow ourselves to move. So just some gentle movements with your own hand on your heart, really nice little movements. Or even just going round and round like this in little circles. Connecting with my heart, now I know where to start. Let your feelings flow, discover all you know. Let your eyes just breathe the light. so you don't have to fight. It's time to lose control, to climb out of this hole. So if you'd like to join me in the class this morning, it's at 10 o'clock. I'll put a link in the comments below and jump on and join us for this movement. I call it moving with your heart, but it's really about how do we free up the lateral movements in our body, the sideways movements, so that we can move with more ease and grace. This is Rhonda Olsen signing off from Woman Shine.